Hey everybody, welcome to Who Gives a Shit, the podcast where we ask the most important question.
Who gives a
shit? Yeah, who gives a shit? So, CJ, how was your week, man? How is everything going with you?
My week was fantastic. So, like you, Adam, I am now a felon. I'm convicted. I'm convicted of all my charges. I'm guilty of telling a white woman that she's wrong. Now, coming with that is 2 academic dishonesty charges, along with 2 years of academic probation.
2 years of academic probation, man.
Which is, it's basically a tiny word for, it's like a smart people word for nothing. Like academic probation is not a real thing.
Well, it's double secret probation. They're like, well, we're not going to do anything, but we will. You better watch yourself, buddy.
Did they have any of that in prison? Like, oh, we want to do something. We're going to do something, Adam. Watch out, buddy.
Yeah, they'll do host shit where they'll, like, take all your commissary and shit like that. Or they'll, like, restrict your rec time or make it so you're not allowed to go in the day room. Like, lame little crap like that, where if you fuck with them and they catch you doing it, they'll really come down on you and throw you in the hole. But shit, a buddy of mine got thrown on academic probation, and he got caught with weed in his dorm room in Nacogdoches. And this dude was so fucking pissed about this. And they wanted him to take this, like, drug awareness class. And he said that if he wanted to go to Auschwitz, he moved to Germany. And he was like, fuck it, expel me. And so while they were in the process of expelling him, he got a bunch of fucking opium seeds and spread them all throughout the fucking flower beds and fucked so much of their shit up. Like, that that was how you do it, man.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I wish they had a drug awareness class at my school. I would get an A on that class.
I'm very aware of drugs. Very aware.
Yeah. I got a doctorate in drugs.
Well, shit, when I was taking pharmacology, they were focused on all the cancer drugs and shit like that. I'm like, why don't you talk about the cool shit? So I made a point to try to go out and figure out as many interesting things as there were out there. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I did. Learned a lot about myself. So
shout out to my main bitch, Snow White. You've always been there for me.
Yeah, hey, that'll be the jump start to the car parts of your mind. Got me out of a really depressing time. That's for sure. But let's get into some shit that people are fucking tripping out about, man. Do you want to go first or shall I?
I could go first. It's really up to you.
Go for it, man. Go for it, Brody.
My first Who Gives a Shit. This is from a local paper, so you might not guess this one. But do you want to try to guess who gives
for a local one? Nah, I'm not going to be able to guess it, man.
All right, so this is from the Detroit Free Press, which actually I think they're one of the only news outlets in this area that still give you like real newspapers. Because my grandma gets real newspapers from them all the time. But it's about the restaurant rules for COVID, the restrictions, and our Governor Potato Cunt. I don't know if you're familiar with this governor. She looks like Jim Carrey's character in The Mask. She looks just like him.
Oh, she's got the leather face, bad Botox job and shit. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so she's related to the Bogdanovs, all right.
She promised that she would lift these restrictions on restaurants this Friday. So the episode is going to be out on Saturday. So by the time you people hear this, I should be able to go to my favorite titty bar and get a steak, right? Well, here's the problem with that. She had never, ever done what she said she was going to do. Now, initially, she said that the restaurant restriction would be limited the first of this month, and she said that she would allow double capacity with still mask. Now, I don't wear mask in any of the restaurants I go to, and no one seems to care. I'm not sure how it is in Houston, but at least that's what it's like where I'm from.
Well, Houston, it's a little different. Like, they really don't expect much from you, man. You just, like, as you're going into the restaurant, they want you to wear the mask, and as soon as you sit down, you can rip that thing off, and it doesn't even fucking matter.
But I really don't think anything is going to come of this. And there's two ways you could look at this when you ask the question, who gives a shit? Number one, people like me give a shit, and the restaurant owners, because I want to go to Leonardo's and have a fucking lasagna and talk to my old friends about how we hate women. But I won't be able to do that if the restaurant has to close at 6 p.m. because that's not a normal time for people. And also, the restaurant owners give a shit because they want the patrons to come in, and the bar, really, the most money in restaurants comes from bars. So, and then you have the second group who gives a shit, which are the Karens. And in this case, the Karens are the Detroit Free Press. Now, at the bottom of this, it says that Whitmer opening the state up does not follow CDC guidelines, and it could be dangerous. That's how they word it.
Yeah, anything could be dangerous. That's an open-ended statement.
Yeah, so from their point of view, they don't want the state to open.
So the newspaper is like trying to put out some article out there talking about the dangers of opening up the restaurants again and trying to dissuade people from doing so. Am I tracking that?
Right. So they're arguing that opening up restaurants could possibly double the transmission rate of the virus, which they're totally lying about the transmission rates, especially at colleges, man. Because the way these tests work, it's a fucking stupid test. I've had to take it for college plenty of times. And all it is you spit in a tube. And the one time I took the test from home, right, the lady that administered it to me, she was really mad because I was just laughing the whole time because she'd watching me spit in a tube with a real serious look on her face. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm a fan of Adderall. And Adderall tends to dry out your mouth. They call it cotton mouth. And in this period of cotton mouth, it's actually very hard to get physical spit to come out of your mouth. So this is just taking forever. And this lady is getting visibly frustrated with me. And she tells me to sniff a lemon. And that creates saliva. And
what the that's a new one.
Yeah, I just start burst out laughing. And then I yell at my mom. I say, Mom, she wants me to get a lemon. Come get a lemon. And
why does a lemon sniffer sound like a fucking racial term?
Anything can sound like a racial term if you just have a connotation to it.
Right.
I
Like,
started.
hey, listen here, you lemon sniffer. Spit in this tube.
I started calling the Middle Eastern guys I play with, I started calling them pita pockets.
Pita pockets?
Yeah.
God.
But
so
anyway.
if they open restaurants back up, are a lot of your game rooms going to be back on?
So, I don't think so, because you have to have a special permit for gambling now, and it's a permit that allows you to install, like, clear glass. Like, I'm not sure what it's called, but you know the glass that bank tellers have, like that clear sheet of glass? Yeah. So now you have to have that in between each seat at the poker table now.
Oh, that's fucking lame.
Yeah, and it requires a permit by the government because it has to be government approved glass.
Damn. Well, shit. Just having the restaurants open up. I don't think that matters all that much. I'm more concerned about when you're not going to have the glass there anymore. Like, when are the vaccination rates going to be high enough that old people will stop freaking out? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't even think it's old people. Like all of the world's problems, I think the panic comes from mid-40s white women.
It definitely could. Well, I don't know. It kind of depends, man. It's weird, the people that tend to freak out over dumb shit, because a lot of it is the typical Karen archetype, but then you just have little bitches in general that are just scared like all the fucking time. I don't get it, man. You take your life into your own hands every time you drive a car, and like, I never really understood the lockdown to begin with and the way that they did it. Because the way I looked at it, they did it the worst possible way. You should either not lock down at all, let everyone know the risk and make their own choices, or you should have locked this bitch way the fuck down and started cutting checks for people, because that's what the rest of the world did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the checks part. You know, there's a lot of strippers that count on my income, and they've been starving for the past couple months. Who's gonna feed little Daquan? Do you ever think about that, government? Huh? Daquan has to watch his morning cartoons without any Cheerios because you soulless fucks closed the titty bar down.
Damn, man. Yeah, have some compassion and think about Daquan.
Yeah, exactly. You know, before the pandemic hit, I was putting more black girls through school than Bill Cosby, and I didn't even have to rape them.
Oh, fuck. Oh, gosh. CJ, you're one of a kind. Oh, fuck, man.
But,
all right. So
I wanted to end my Whitmer, who gives a shit, on a funny note. So one of these restrictions is in regards to movie theaters. And the restriction is you can go to the movie theater, but you can't buy popcorn or candy. You can't buy any concessions, basically. And that, to me, just proves the point of this whole thing, which is to stop fun from happening. Because, like, the whole point for me to go to the movies is to buy the shitty popcorn that destroys my insides. Because really, if I wanted to watch the movie, I could just torrent it at home and play it on my flat screen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If there's one thing I can usually count on the government to do, that's to fuck shit up and make regulations dumb. Make everyone feel stupid for having to comply. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, all right. Well, let's move on to one of the issues, one of the things that people are giving a shit about that caught my attention. So let's play our favorite game, CJ. Guess who wrote this article? What rag published this? Golden Globes embrace saucy Netflix shows, except fan favorite Bridgerton.
I'm gonna guess The Guardian.
The LA Times.
Oh man.
So, are you familiar with Bridgerton?
No, it sounds like a type of pasta, but I'm guessing that's not what it is.
So, I have to talk about Bridgerton to actually come in a real roundabout way to what I'm really trying to talk about. So, to do that, I have to kind of explain the premise of where this show even came from. So this show is an alternate history with the biggest quotation marks that I can possibly make. An alternate history show that's the author was inspired by an ancestry debate that was done in the 1940s about Charlotte of Mecklenburg. She was King George III's wife in 1761. And at the time, people were debating on her heritage, claiming that she was black. And there's some esoteric stuff that's involved with all that because it involved the Moors and the Cathars and stuff like that. And that's what kind of cropped it all back up. But this chick was 9 generations removed from the black Portuguese Moors, making her 512th black. Right, she is less black than Elizabeth Warren is Cherokee. Like she's so. And King George III, when he first saw her, he was visibly disappointed by her appearance, and really was not would like publicly and verbally like make fun of her appearance in front of people. Although they did eventually get to like each other, and they had a bunch of kids, and all that fun stuff, old royalty stuff. But because people were talking about her potential black heritage, this chick 20 years ago wrote a book series where the idea is that everyone embraces this chick's black heritage, and then there's a bunch of black people that end up in British royalty. And that's the premise of this show. Take like Downton Abbey or something like that, where there's, like royalty and like their romantic interminglings, and then just add black people.
So this would be called like Downton Compton. Like a show like that, right?
Kind of. So what got my attention with this is my girl likes this show. And I glance up and I see this. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are there black people in this British royalty show? I'm like, the British are some of the most racist motherfuckers back then. They pioneered white on white racism back then. You think they'd be okay with black people? No. Like it completely, I couldn't even watch the show because just seeing that completely removed me. And that's what I'm bringing to Who Gives a Shit. Who gives a shit about things getting Netflixed? And you know what I'm talking about. How they love just racial swapping characters and gender swapping characters and shit. And the reason I talk about that is because for me, it's a good marker. If they do that too damn much, then they're just pandering to some sort of diversity thing and they don't care about writing the good story. And for me, that means that if people still like it despite of that, then that means they actually gave a shit and wrote a good show. So for me, it's actually a good filter. If I see a lot of that, I'm like, well, I can just discount it until someone else says it's a good show. And if it is, it's usually pretty good.
Well, I can tell that a show is bad when it had the word Netflix original on it. I mean, they'll fund anything. Like if I said I have a harrowing story about me crawling up the stairs and it's 1 hour and 30 minutes long, Netflix would give me $30 million to do the project. Like they give money to anybody.
So listen to this, what the LA Times had to say about this show. They said 82 million households watched some of the series in the first 4 weeks. According to Netflix, by that metric, it makes it the most successful original series in history on that streaming service. And it also received mostly positive reception from critics who appreciated its refreshingly contemporary spin on Regency romance. And so I looked into this. I'm like, what the hell do they even mean by that? Literally, it's just people going, oh, interracial couples, so brave. So, like, that's so contemporary. I'm like, what the fuck? People have been interracial, like, dating for the longest damn time. And the funny thing is, when I looked at these articles and I talked to my girl about this, it seems like none of these people watched this show. That none of them watched it at all. So the LA Times had another article about this show that said that Bridgerton is Jane Austen meets hookup culture in Netflix's exquisitely silly Bridgerton. First off, the show isn't silly. Exquisite, sure, they got really good set design from what I've seen, and their costumes look pretty good. But it has nothing to do with hookup culture. It's your standard, like, royal people banging each other thing, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing about like hookup culture or anything like that, other than the chicks in the show act kind of like dudes to a certain extent. Like, they get drunk and act crass about shit.
Now, how much inbreeding is there? Because if it is realistic to the time period, there would be a lot of inbreeding.
Well, yeah, so that's one of the things about the chick that it's based off of. So Charlotte, one of the reasons that she seems to have more prominent black features is that some of the black features got inbred within her own family. So she actually could have caught those traits 6 times from her own family tree, by how it was set up. But the thing is, I don't know. I'm not watching this show. It is not my thing. I don't give a shit about this show. In fact, talking to my girl about this, I was kind of playing with fire because, man, I was making fun of her the whole fucking time for liking this thing. Because it looks like fucking tripe to me. Whenever I looked into it and I saw that there was orchestra redos of Ariana Grande and Billie Eilish songs, I was like, oh, fuck no. You gotta be fucking shitting me.
My mom was into that Downton Abbey show, and it seemed like she would just watch it to just drink naked grape and slowly doze off. On what scale of alcoholism is your girl, Adam, if you don't mind me asking?
Not at all. She's actually a teetotaler.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess why would she watch it then? Because from my knowledge, the women that watch these shows, they watch it for the costumes, and it's just something for them to get drunk to. You know, the liquor is the forefront of the activity, and the show is just kind of in the background.
She's a sucker. She's such a sucker for romances. Like, anything that's like a romantic story, she just eats that stuff up. And, like, it gets my goat sometimes. Sometimes to get her to watch something that's good, I have to tell her about the romance subplot in like an action movie or something like that to try to sell it. Like, it can get a little ridiculous. And she's been trying to get me to watch The Notebook forever. And I just absolutely refuse. I'm like, that is not real love. That is not how people actually act. That is a story, and that is what people want love to be, but that's not what it is.
I feel like the romantic comedies are dangerous because all these bitches on Tinder, that's what they are now. They're archetypes of romantic comedies. Like I'm quirky, I like all music, and then you ask them what kind of music they listen to, and they say, well, I don't like rap, metal, country, classical. So you just like pop then, you stupid bitch. You should have wrote that in your bio. Don't say you like all music, and then I ask you, and you're like, oh, I hate all music except this one form of music.
Man, I'd take pop. My girl's a country girl, and she's always wanted to listen to country, and that is my least favorite genre of music.
Oh yeah, it is the worst.
It fucking kills me sometimes. It can get really bad. And like her favorite country song is God, I'm trying to remember. Speechless. That's what it is. It's a song about some dude that sees some chick and can't even say anything. But I really listen to it. I'm like, this dude is fucking stalking this chick. Like, he's just constantly following this chick around, smelling her, and not saying anything. This dude's a fucking creep.
You're talking about bad country songs. And
it's awful.
I think the name of this song is called Change or something. And it's an LL Cool J. So LL Cool J has a feature on the song. And it has great lyrics such as, I'll respect your flag if you respect my do-rag. And
what the oh
no. The Mason-Dixon needs some fixing.
Oh, what the hell?
I showed this to my dad. It's so terrible, man. Like, it's awful. It's an awful song. And I never respected LL Cool J to begin with. He was always kind of a fucking tool, in my opinion. But it definitely nailed the point of him being a sellout. Like, he's just a sellout at this point. And then there's another song called There's No I in Beer. And it made me feel bad for being white for the first time in my life. I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should kill Whitey. Maybe we should just fucking genocide my people.
So back to this Bridgerton show. They said that it got critical acclaim. So I'm like, who are these critics that actually like this show? So I started looking into it a little bit. There's this Terrence Johnson character that writes for the Redditor. It says, outside of the amazing diversity, which was amazing to see, this show is brilliantly brought to life by the cast of actors. And I'm like, what? You literally only care about the diversity aspect of the thing? And this thing isn't diverse. It's just adding black people to the royal family. If they really wanted it to be diverse, this chick was a Moor. They were Muslim. They should have had the religious prosecution aspect in there too and actually added that in there. That would at least add a little bit more diversity. That's not diverse at all. It's very binary as to how it's presented. And then we have another character that's a critic, a top critic, mind you, on Rotten Tomatoes. Tracy Roby writes for the New York Magazine and Vulture. I thought Bridgerton handled well the history connected to high-stakes storylines on race. What? I can't even begin to say how fucking wrong that shit is. And the funny thing is, this chick should have known better. She's got a PhD in Italian studies. Now, granted, that's not British stuff, but you'd have known how fucking racist people were back then. And this is when, like, the Italians hated the French that hated the Spanish. They had a lot of white stuff. Everyone hated the Irish. Like, what?
PhD in Italian studies. Did that come with the side of garlic bread?
No, but this chick is also a skincare blogger. Yeah.
Oh,
really.
You know, there is something about the olive Italian skin, especially that giant crucifix and those perky titties. There's something beautiful about it. So she's probably a much better skincare blogger than she is a race expert.
Yeah, and you get the standard the standard stuff, like she's constantly retweeting AOC and roasting Ted Cruz on her Twitter. And I'm like, oh my god, of course you'd like Bridgerton. Like, that fucking basic.
Depending on what this girl looks like, I might want to give her the old bobbity boopity.
I don't think you would, man. I think you're gonna look at that and go, man, is she trying to sell an elephant skin rug? What the fuck is going on with that shit?
Well, that's a good issue.
Oh yeah. Who gives a shit about Bridgerton? Apparently, basic bitches.
Now, we normally have our sponsor, Cripple News Network, but today they're not with us on account that their star reporter, Noah Habadawags, forgot to charge his chair for work this morning. So what I did is I took the liberty of bringing in a new bit. We're calling this bit To Catch a Redditor.
Oh yeah, To Catch a Redditor.
Me and Adam, we brought in some Reddit comments, and we're just gonna make fun of them because Reddit is stupid and gay. So Adam, did you want to go first, or?
So unfortunately, I don't have any Reddit comments, actually. I have made it a point to never go on that website. The only time I ever go is if I'm looking for a very specific problem and I can find a very specific answer. But I know that you have been trolling up and down that shit, and I'm looking forward to what you have.
Oh yeah, man. So what I have for you today, it has to relate to my Dick Show appearance. I recently went on the most recent episode of the Dick Show to talk about my verdict of being guilty. And this is straight from the Dick Show Reddit. The first one says, the first one is set up like a dialogue. So it takes something I said and then he commenting on it. This is something that Redditor do a lot. It says, CJ, she connected that I'm crippled Jesus somehow. CJ. So anyway, I was talking to my law professor about my grades and he revealed he had based. Hopefully she doesn't hear this. And then he said, Christ, even his brain is crippled. Now, that is a good joke. I'll give this guy that. But where he has it wrong is the idea that I exposed myself further by mentioning my law professor. The reason I did that is because at this point, the college already knows that I'm crippled Jesus. So it doesn't matter. And this next one I have here is about the same topic, and this one is a thread, it's a comment. The dumbest decision CJ could have made is play secret recordings of his classroom on WATP, and Carl is short-sighted by enabling it. The situation is funny, but not that. That's in all caps. Funny. We got.
Are they saying that they should? Are they saying that Carl shouldn't enable a crippled man? That is the most ableist shit that I've ever heard. How dare they?
Yeah, it's pretty ableist. And the fact that he used the word enabled. Enabled what? I didn't do anything bad here. I mean, it's not even a real court. Like, this guy is retarded because he thinks all of this shit matters. Like, this doesn't matter. It's not real life. College is not real life. It doesn't matter at all. I'm going to school for marketing, right? And
how hard is it to spin that? If a marketing agency asks you, they're like, well, what about this academic probation and all this other stuff? If they found out some crazy way, you could just be like, well, I knew this would be hilarious. I am my own brand, and I knew this would be a good thing to talk about in other podcasts, and I used that as a launching point to get my name out there. It worked.
If I showed a marketing firm my resume in terms of podcasting and how I brand myself, they would give me a job immediately. There would be no second interview. I would get the job right there. I would start working as I roll out of the interview room. But these guys are under the intention that college matters, which is in itself retarded and a disability, in my opinion. If you think college matters at all, it's just literally a piece of paper that the corporate overlords say that you should have. That's why I'm in college. There are two things you need to succeed in marketing, okay? The first one is you need to know how to lie. which is lying is a skill. It's not taught. It's not taught at college. And most good liars are born. I come from a lineage of liars, which is why I believe that I'm a good liar. The second thing you need to know how to do is you need to have unearned confidence. And this is basically my whole life, unearned confidence. At the surface, on paper, I am a cripple with a useless body, but with my unearned confidence, I am a comedic god who is controlled all strippers and is the king of gambling. Like, I'm the best gambler there is. And that unearned confidence is gonna land me the job. It's not gonna be, I took economics 201 and I know what the inflation of coffee beans are since 1985. Nobody gives a shit about that garbage.
Yeah, you can Google that shit for when you need to know it.
Right, exactly. Most of what college teaches you is, it's all stuff you can Google, and it's all like bar trivia information. It's not even real shit that you need to know. This last comment I have is, it says, CJ is hilarious, but he needs to understand that it's not worth it ruining your academic career just for the walls. Now, there's two
Everything
things.
is for the lulz. That's the only reason to do anything.
The walls. And again, college is not important. College is not real life. It is a fake life. And this whole thing is just a power trip. The reason the hearing happened, the reason that I had to present myself in front of a quote-unquote board that doesn't even have any legal authority, this is all a power trip. All these people are living in fantasy land. This is about as real as fucking the Willy Wonka factory. College isn't real life. There's nothing real about it. I do want to give a shout out to this one guy who says below that stupid comment, he says, CJ is crippled. He don't have much of a choice for a career. If I was in his situation, I'd be making the most fun I could out of life. And I wanted to shout that guy out because he's the only guy that really gets it. This whole bit was not about to make anyone laugh. It was not about to ruin my academic career. It was about, I wanted to have fun. So I recorded some retards and I had fun.
It's a story you can be telling for fucking years and years to come. You know, live a life that's fucking interesting. If you don't do that, then you're just fucking boring, man.
Absolutely.
Well, you upvoted that guy, right?
I did. That guy earned
Hell
an
yeah.
upvote.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's been How to Catch a Redditor. All right, CJ. So you got another topic for us, or do you want me to start going off on one?
I have another one for you, and this one is also from our friend at the LA Times.
Oh shit! All right, shoot.
Comedian Chris D'Elia faces sexual assault allegations yet again. And
again?
This is from the LA Times, and take a guess of what it is, because the sexual allegations is a real gray area. So this could be anything from unwanted touching to sexual comments like, "Oh, hey, I really like those tits," to actual rape like penetration. What do you think the sexual harassment in question is?
All right. I'm gonna go a bit out on a limb here because I remember the last time he got put on blast about this thing, and there was chicks that were messaging him on like a fan like site kind of thing, and some chicks were getting fresh with them, and he was like, "Whoa, before we do anything, how old are you?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm 16 or whatever." He's like, "Oh shit, I can't be talking to you." So they hacked that last part out, and they were like, "Hey, look at all this inappropriate shit that he was talking about." So I'm guessing that some chick lied about her age, and then like whenever he was like, "Well, I don't want to talk to you anymore," she got mad and decided to try to fucking fuck his life up. Am I close?
So, yeah, it is over the internet. It's not nothing about this case is real life. And the allegation is that she argues that some of the videos that were sent were filmed at a time when she was 17 and still in high school. Now, as far as I know...
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Dude should have known better. Dude should have known better. If you're even halfway famous, why are you accepting anything from someone that even looks even partially questionable? Man, that's this dude's dumbass fault. He should have known better, man.
Well, my thing is, if you're famous, why are you chatting bitches on the internet? Why are you not going to the club and spending money? Because women love money. You'll get whores on your dick at all ages if you just flash money.
Yeah, I've straight up pulled out wads of cash, not spent any of it, and had chicks on my jock because of that.
Yeah, dude, it's very, very easy. As a stripper connoisseur, I've learned that money bitches will follow with your wallet. A wallet is a bitch trap, essentially. It's nature's bitch trap. So I really don't understand why this guy is at home chatting bitches up on the internet. But that aside, this woman had the quote, and the quote from the trial is, "Chris D'Elia used his fame and power to take advantage of me at the time I was still in high school."
His power, huh? So he called up the goon squad and then had them go knock on her door and be like, "Hey, bitch, you're gonna send Chris D'Elia these fucking nudes right now."
Yeah, that's retarded. And also, too, what fame does this guy have? What is this guy famous for? I know he's friends with Joe Rogan, but is that really enough to make you famous?
He has a Netflix special where he looks fucking twacked out. He even makes a joke. He's like, "I know I look like I'm on coke, but I'm not." It's like, you're on meth, dude. I mean, what? Come on, man.
The only thing I know him as is he's the guy that does the Eminem impression.
I didn't even know Twitter. That. And I know he plays a pedophile on some show or something like that because people were making jokes about it the last time this shit happened. So you think that this is actually going to stick to this guy this time?
Here's the thing. It probably will, but I don't think it'll be highly publicized because this guy doesn't matter. Like, last week I brought in Woody Allen, and Woody Allen is a staple of film, whether you like him or not. Like, he's a classic director. So the stuff on Woody Allen, while it's probably not going to get him, it's going to get a lot more attention because Woody Allen is like, he's past the point where if he never made a film for the rest of his life, he would still be famous. It's like a Martin Scorsese type. Like, that guy never has to make a movie again, and everyone's still gonna know the name Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, Chris D'Elia is probably going to be feeling this. He just looks like the kind of guy that has a hole in his pocket and probably is used to a particular lifestyle. This could hit this dude pretty fucking hard.
Well, I did watch a little bit of his comedy, and it's not really comedy at all. It's like the Dane Cook style of comedy where they think yelling and making noises is a joke. But
Yeah, that is kind of it. I watched his Netflix special, but that's because I had nothing else to watch, and I already watched all the Brett Kirscher and so I was like, well, who else is Joe Rogan friends with? Because he tends to know a lot of comedians. I'm like, let's watch this. My girl's like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like, well, you got anything else? Because we're not watching Bridgerton. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, apparently being friends with Joe Rogan is enough to make you famous now. Which,
Damn, dude's right around the corner. How do I get in his studio? Fuck.
Yeah, Joe, if you're listening, I was on a DMT trip once and I started walking. I'm sure you want to talk about that on the podcast. So if you're listening,
I did some DMT and dropped acid with some cartel guys. Get me on your podcast.
Hell yeah, man. No, I don't give a shit about this because I barely know who Chris DeWitt is.
Well, also, this is something that we know chicks do. Like, chicks lie about their age when they are that age. I remember being in high school, and there were chicks that looked like they were, well into adulthood, like they might be like a freshman or a sophomore in college or something like that. They'd lie about their age just to sleep with older dudes because that's what they were into. And some of these chicks just wanted to get laid, and I didn't know of any chicks that were out there to, like, just fuck with some people, but I never underestimate anyone's ability to be spiteful. And I mean, shit, they got sayings like that, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Oh, dude, when I was on Tinder when I was in high school and I was 16 and I just put 18 on my profile, I've never gotten more titty pictures than I ever in my life. There was even this one time where I matched with this chick from Canada and we started getting into it, and we were talking about all the weird shit we were into. And this bitch just sent me a video of her dog going down on her because she's
what the fuck? White chick, obviously.
No. She was black. Her name was Z.
What the fuck?
She was a black chick. She was Canadian. So not black really, like Canadian black.
Okay. Oh fuck!
But
she's appropriating white culture. How dare she?
Very culturally insensitive. She had a Shih Tzu, and she just spread a bunch of Jiffy on her pussy lips. And this dog is just going to town, and she sent me the whole video. It's fucking wacky, man. What they into, but
oh fuck! And think about it. If the roles were reversed and you were of a different gender, FBI, open up! Like, oh yeah, that's going down, and that's going down hard. That I have a lot of explaining to do. You have to talk to a judge about that one.
Well, I can testify that if you're underage, chicks are into that because all women are pedophiles. But Adam, why don't you close out the show for us with your last Who Gives a Shit, buddy?
All right, I got something I'm curious about. I'm going to beg the question literally. Texas is about to get rid of their mask mandate altogether. It's happening next Wednesday. And I'm curious, who gives a shit about that? Because there's a decent number of people that do, for drastically different reasons. I got a gut feeling that you do.
Oh, yeah, I hate the mask, which is why I never wear one.
And me, I don't give a shit because we never really had a mask mandate to begin with. Initially, there were some Karens that were going off about it. People cared for maybe a month and some change. And then this is Texas. People don't give a shit in general. The real independent people, if you try to tell a Texan to do something, they're going to tell you to fuck off. And people just stopped wearing them altogether. I had to go into a Walmart, fuck me for having to go into a damn Walmart to try to avoid that place like the plague. And I went in there with my mask out of courtesy because whenever I go into a gas station or something like that, I just kind of do it. And I didn't see anyone in there wearing a mask that didn't work there. And I'm like, fuck, I guess I missed the memo about this shit. And people would do the chin diaper thing. And At work, I'm not around anyone. I'm usually like at least 50 feet away from people. I'm like at my machine making parts, or I'm in my office designing prints. I'm not even around anyone. So because we're so spaced apart, it doesn't even matter. And someone will just leave you some work to do. So it's almost like nothing even happened to begin with. And I've been trying to find excuses to not have to deal with the general public or people in general, because I despise stupidity. And whenever you start talking about the general populace, you're just going to be surrounded by dumbassery. So it really hardly affected me. But there are people that are doing some of the most cucked shit I've ever seen. They got a Facebook profile like filter thing you can put over your profile picture that's like, it looks like a Texas flag mask on the bottom of your profile picture with the words, "I choose to wear the mask." How's that make you feel, CJ?
That reminds me of my grandma has this, she had that same like banner style thing on her Facebook profile, but it says "Staying Home Saved Lives," and it's a mask. It's a house with a mask on it.
Oh, God. Yeah. Like anyone I knew that was really like immune compromised, yeah, they did. They just stayed home, and they took their own their own health and their own responsibility into account, and they really did go out of their way to not catch the shit. And anyone I know that was close to me never got sick, and now everyone's vaccinated. That matters, and so it. Like for my immediate circle of people, it's life is normal. Everything's back to normal now.
Well, I went to the Myers the other day, and I decided to have a little bit of fun when I was waiting in line. So I just started screaming about how I said, if you get the vaccine, you'll end up like this. And I just pointed to myself. And to my surprise, this one guy, he comes up to me and he says, "I'm getting real tired of this pandemic." And we high-five. It was one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me as of late. But I think more people are starting to wake up to this bullshit.
Yeah, well, the people that are really at risk, they're getting vaccinated. Like the ones that were really hit them, that really are worried about it. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel for this shit. And people will stop bitching about it, and we'll stop talking about it here in the near future, I hope. So, the Texas lifting their mask mandate, it's Texas. They're going to do their own thing. And there ain't nothing you can do about that shit. Whenever we ship a beer out of Texas, we always put, you have to pop top the thing. Because if it's going outside the state, it's an import. Well, that's all I got to say about the mask mandate. You got anything else to add before we go to the voicemails?
No, I'm excited for the voicemails. We had a couple good ones last week.
Well, we got one today. So if you want to give us a call us at 281-747-6015. We'd love to hear from you and talk about whatever. Also follow us on Twitter at WGA Shit Show. It stands for Who Gives a Shit Show. Also, if you can find our Discord, feel free to join. Got to find one of the people that's in it and ask them if you can join. Also, if you want to listen to us live, you can go to the Rich Dickman Show and find a link to their Discord. This is where we record. And also listen to us on any of the podcasty sort of things like Apple Podcasts, that sort of stuff. We're on most everything. There's a couple things that are very obnoxious with how they do their approval process. But
looking at you, Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Fuck you, Spotify. Being a fucking mark right now. So let's see what we got for our voicemail.
I just want to say I really have been enjoying your podcast and the amazing work you guys have been putting in. And keep up the golden work, boys. Have a good one.
Damn. All right, unnamed guy. Fuck, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. Well, yeah, I think that's...
Thanks for enjoying the podcast. The feedback for the show has been incredible. I think you were telling me recently that we broke over 1,000 downloads. So,
yeah, for a brand spanking new podcast, that's pretty damn good. I've been I've been pretty happy with the way that we've been received. Like it's been a solid run, and I'm happy to do it. It's actually been a very interesting hobby to say the least.
Oh yeah, I find myself loving the show. You know, I'm actually putting effort into it. Before, I would just let my co-hosts do all the legwork, but I'm actually contributing here. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got legs in the wheel, man, here. but you know, anything we're doing right. We plan on doing shit right around here. So I think that's all we got for our show. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off right now. I'm Adam from Houston.
And I'm CJ.
Catch y'all later. See ya.
Stay horny.